All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking New Orleans Saints rookie linebacker Danny Stutsman. We were really high on Stutsman coming out of college on this channel, and he has impressed for the Saints recently, especially in New Orleans, his most recent victory. And we'll break down everything this young linebacker is doing so well. He's off to a great start in his career. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback that you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help support us, consider becoming a member of our channel. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's get started with some run defense. There's Stutsman right there, the only linebacker in the box. In fact, there's only 5 people in the box for New Orleans. There's Stutsman and there's 4 D linemen. And right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got 5 linemen and the running back. So we got 6 on 5 here for Tampa Bay. Tough situation for the Saints defense. And we're going to get a standard inside zone concept here from Tampa. We're going to get a base block there. Base reach here, zone double team action, working up to the next level, backside scoop, cutoff block here, and the running back's going to take the handoff and just work north and south. Again, reading this block primarily, trying to get through the second level and get up to the secondary. And Stutsman does a great job scraping while mirroring number 1, fighting off the block of the center and making the tackle. It's a great rep from the rookie. Let's check it out. There's a snap, there's the handoff, there's the cut, and there's Stutsman to make the tackle. Nice job. Guys, this should have been a huge play. Again, 6 on 5. Hats on hats. I mean, look at this right here. This should be up into the secondary for like a 30-yard run. But instead, Stutsman makes the play and limits the damage. Nice job by the rookie. Watch him scrape and mirror number 1. And then right here, get engaged against 62 right there. Center firing off into him. Then shed 62, lay out, and make the tackle. This is really good. At Oklahoma, Stutsman was a guy in terms of his athleticism, his speed, his physical traits, never really jumped off the film, right? Never looked like a guy who was just a physical marvel. But all he did was make plays. Day after day, year after year at Oklahoma. Time and time again, he just got a bunch of tackles, just made a bunch of plays. Run game, pass game, coverage, rushing the passer, he did it all. And we're starting to see that with the New Orleans Saints, again, fighting off a block and just making the play. I mean, this is a situation right here where 9 times out of 10, you crease this if you're the offense for a huge play. Instead, it's like a 5-6 yard run. It's still a good play for the offense for sure, but this could have been a monster play. But Stutsman does a great job, again, engaging the center right there, fights off the block, and somehow lays out and makes a tackle. You talking about playmaking ability? You know, we fall in love with interceptions and sacks, of course, and that's important, but this is playmaking ability in its own regard. Again, doing an incredible job here, Danny Stutsman. All right, from the wide copy, you can see how light of a box this is, and the Buccaneers run up the middle, and there's Stutsman to make the play. Now, to be fair, it's still a nice run. It's still a successful play for the Buccaneers, for sure. But you can see right there, they should have creased this into the secondary. It should have been down inside the 15 to the 10. Instead, it's to the 19. You know, these things add up. These things matter, especially in close games, especially on the road, especially against good opponents, limiting the damage. All week long, the Buccaneers were salivating over an opportunity like this, where they got the Saints in a light box. They got 4 linemen, 1 linebacker, and they got 5 linemen and a running back. They're going to crease them for a huge play. That's their entire thought. But here's the thing. Stutsman makes the play, and it's just a nice little run. It's an ordinary run. It's, you know what, a 6-7 yard run, which is still good, but it's not a game-breaking play. And the Buccaneers probably thought this would be a game-breaking play, and that's what Stutsman provides. Again, playmaking ability isn't always about the tackles for loss or creating negative plays for the defense. It's turning what should be touchdowns into the offense into ordinary plays, and that's exactly what we see here. Again, Stutsman fighting off the center, somehow making the play, high-effort tackle. Nice job. All right, sticking with the run defense, and there's Danny Stutsman right there, of course, at the linebacker position. And you can see the Buccaneers, they got a number advantage, right? They've got 5 linemen, they got the running back, and now they got a tight end over here. That's 7 total. The Saints, they got 3 defensive linemen. They got 1 stand-up guy over here. They got another stand-up guy off the screen there, and they got Stutsman. So it's 7 on 6. Again, a numbers advantage for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is going to be a big play for them. They're just going to run inside zone, right? So we're going to get a base block there. Base block here, zone double team working up to Stutsman, scoop block on the backside, scoop block on the backside of the running back, just going north and south. But again, Danny Stutsman, again, tough position right here. He's the only linebacker. He's the only guy that can make the play. He does a great job fighting off the lineman's block and making the tackle. Huge play from the rookie. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a handoff. Stutsman beats the block and makes a tackle. Now let's give some credit to 94, coming from the right side of your screen, laying out. Love that effort from the veteran. Great to see that. But Stutsman's right here, technically scraping, beats the block, makes a tackle. Look at his quickness right here. Slow play, slow play, slow play, slow play. Beat the lineman, make the tackle. Man, that's good. Playmaking ability. He's just a good football player, guys. And I like having good football players on my team. And if I'm the New Orleans Saints, I feel the exact same way. That's what Stutsman is. And now listen, I know there's some veteran linebackers on this roster already. But you talk about the future guys, it's Danny Stutsman. You put on his film, and all he does is make plays. All he does is make tackles. All he does is beat positions. Again, right here, the Buccaneers, they got a number advantage. Should be a huge play. Instead, because of 94 and Stutsman, it's a minimal play. This is a situation, again, where Tampa all week long thought they were going to absolutely eviscerate the Saints defense, and they couldn't because of guys like Danny Stutsman. I mean, this is just technically perfect. Look how under control and calm he is the entire time. Good base, and right there, beats the lineman with great athleticism, and then makes a tackle to boot. Nice job.
I think this year Stutsman has proved himself to be a very good run defender for this Saints team. He has had multiple really good weeks, 79.4 overall run defense grade for him this season. And again, this week versus a tough team in Tampa Bay, again, 71.5 run defense grade for him. He's doing some really great stuff in run defense for this Saints team.
All right, sticking with the run defense, and there's Danny Stutsman right there in the middle of your screen. And the Buccaneers, they're tired of running inside zone right at Stutsman and having him make the play. So they're going to run a different concept here. They're going to pull the center, and they're going to pull the backside tackle right here and have everybody else basically blocked down in this situation, anchored down on the backside, because they're trying to get a kick-out block here and have the backside tackle wrap and pick up Stutsman as he tries to scrape over the top. Again, they're tired of running it right at the young linebacker. They're going to try and run away from him. It doesn't matter, though, because guess what, guys? All Stutsman does is make plays. He scrapes over the top and then makes a tackle at the point of attack. Great job once again from the rookie. Let's check it out. There's a snap, center, backside tackle pull. There's Stutsman to make the play. Again, all he does is make plays. Again, he doesn't play a whole heck of a lot late because of the veteran linebackers the Saints have. But when he's on the field, all he does is make plays. Now, this is a pretty funny block right here by the center. Look at this block. That's a nice holiday embrace right there. Hey, buddy, it's been a long time. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Backside tackle. He's kind of slipping and sliding, stumbling all over the place. So, again, not great from the Polars, if we're being honest, from Tampa Bay. But that's not Stutsman's fault. Again, works through the traffic, navigates, watch a mirror 44, scrape, 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 downhill strike. You know, he never is too over-aggressive or under-aggressive, maintains the perfect tempo. Again, he's just a really well-coached, really fundamentally sound linebacker, right? He doesn't try and go super downhill right now and potentially, put himself in a position to underrun the play. He doesn't fly over the top and wait too late and overrun the play and allow the running back to cut back, right? He does everything perfect. Mirrors 44 the entire way. Now makes his move, gets a tackle. Great job. All right, from the wide copy, you can see the handoff right there. Watch Stutsman scrape, 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 and just make the tackle. This is just clinic tape stuff, guys, again and again and again. Again, you got the love warming embrace right there with the center on Young right there. That's kind of funny to watch. You got the backside tackle stumbling as a puller. That's not ideal from number 67. But again, Stutsman, calm, cool, scrape, now attack. You can see right there, very early on, he's like, okay, do I go downhill? No, not yet. Okay, do I keep working laterally? No, now I go downhill. Again, fundamentally sound. He understands the timing of playing the linebacker position, how to fill gaps, when to strike, when not to strike, right? What I want from linebackers, and I talk about this all the time, is I want patience, 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 strike. It's almost like a cobra, right? You want to be calm, cool, patient, track your target, and then like a laser-guided missile, engage. And that's exactly what Stutsman is. Nice play. All right, how about a little pass rush from Stutsman? And there he is right there lined up with the linebacker on the left side of your screen. And this is one of my favorite blitz designs, right? So you're going to have a 3 technique right here with number 90 and a stand-up defensive end right here. So what happens here is the left tackle is obviously going to be one-on-one. And you slant 90 inside to pull the guard this way, which means you got a running back one-on-one on a blitzing linebacker. And Stutsman wins this outright. He does a great job firing out on the blitz and then beats 44 and gets pressure on Baker Mayfield. Can't quite make the play, but it's a really explosive pass rush from Danny Stutsman. I'm a big fan of this. If he does this a lot more, I think he'll get more and more playing time. He could become a super weapon for this New Orleans D with plays like this. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Here comes the blitz. There's the pressure. Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield, man, and he escapes and somehow avoids a sack. All right, let's look at Stutsman. On the blitz right there. Running back come to pick him up. Look at that swim move. Look at this. Look how quick this is, guys. Look at those hands. I mean, the film can barely track it. I mean, look at that. This is, I guarantee you guys, I'm going 2x speed on the rewind, but, going forward, that's normal speed. Look how fast his hands are. My goodness gracious. This is pretty impressive, guys. Look at that. I mean, that's kind of mind-blowing. But it speaks to his, again, playmaking ability. All he does is make plays. Now, look, I'm going to give credit for 68 because if he doesn't, get a little bit of a hand on Stutsman right there, this is probably a sack. And listen, Baker Mayfield, he is a crafty dude for sure. But Stutsman does a great job getting pressure, winning the rep, and again, getting to the quarterback I think he'll finish these going forward, probably against quarterbacks that aren't named Baker Mayfield, who can just escape anything, it seems. But again, it speaks to Stutsman's playmaking ability. Coverage, stopping the run, play side, backside, engaging blockers, and now rushing the passer. This guy can do it all.
Well, I think Stutsman has been used very sparingly, and we're talking about pass rush this year, 6 snaps overall in pass rush situations. He has done something special this week. In the 1 pass rush snap he was used in, he was able to get his first pressure on the quarterback this year. So good for him. I think this was really, a kudos to him going forward that Stutsman, while limited usage in the pass rush department this week, he was able to get pressure on the quarterback, finally breaking through and being able to figure out how to affect things in the pass game.
All right, going back to the run defense, and there's Stutsman right there as one of the 2 linebackers in the box for the New Orleans Saints. You can see the Saints have a more standard defensive alignment here. They got their 4 D linemen and 2 linebackers to handle the 5 linemen, the 1 tight end, the 1 running back. Again, a more standard front here for New Orleans. And it's going to be another inside zone concept here for the Buccaneers. We're going to get base block there, center working up to Stutsman. Backside scoop, zone double team out to the backside linebacker. We got a backside scoop, tight end handling the defensive end right there. Running back just trying to go north and south however he can. But I want you guys to watch Stutsman. One of the things I love about him is that when the opportunity is there to fill, when it's an inside run, he fills and he ends up drawing a penalty on this one. Huge play for the Saints D. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a handoff. It's a decent little run. But there's the flag. You guys see it coming to view? There's the flag. Holding at the point of attack. Watch Stutsman right here. Engage, strike, fight off. Look at that holding. Again, linebackers, when it's time to fill, you fill. And that's what Stutsman does. Some linebackers, they like to jump around blocks. They like to kind of backdoor things or flow over the top because they want the tackles for loss. They want the sacks. They want to end up on the stat sheet. Stutsman does his job. Again, his gap right here is this A gap to the left of the center. So he fills his gap first and foremost, aggressively fills it, and then tries to fight off the block and draws the penalty. That's a win for the defense, obviously. And that's the thing about Stutsman as well. He's obviously a playmaker, but he does it from the context of a team-first mentality. He's a selfless player, not a selfish player. And that's a key element for being any sort of player in any defense in the NFL, but definitely linebackers for sure. You got to do your job. You got to fill your gap and do your responsibility. Because if you get queued, if you freelance, you're going to get gashed. Stutsman, he does his job here, helps draw a holding penalty. Nice win for the Saints defense. All right, for the wide copy, you can see Stutsman right there at linebacker. He's going to fill the gap, engage the center, get held right there. And there's the flag right there on the left side of your screen. Now, there's a lot of holding going on across the board. You got 67 hold right there too. Right, there's a lot of grabbing from the Bucs offensive line. The Saints front 7, including Stutsman, of course, dominated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers group all day long. There were a few lapses here and there, but overall, this was a big win for the Saints D-line and linebacker core. They had a great day. And Stutsman, obviously a big part of that. Again, you can see right here, filling downhill, engaging the block, physical guy. Look at this contact right here between the offensive lineman and the linebacker. Who's the hammer and who's the nail? Guess who goes backwards, guys? I'll give you a hint. It's not Stutsman. It's the center. Goes back. It's what causes him to grab. And there comes the penalty. Winning football, physical football, playmaking football. That's what Danny Stutsman brings here. Nice rep. All right, I wanted to take a quick break from today's video to talk about something we're excited to offer, and that is weekly giveaways of a lot of high quality stuff. We appreciate our viewers, and that's what we want to give you guys the opportunity to join these weekly giveaways. There's a link in the description box below that takes you right to it. And this week we're talking about a $350 Yeti Tundra cooler like you see on the screen in front of you. Again, just go to the link in the description box below, enter in your email, and you have a chance to win. The drawings will be made every Sunday. You'll be announced whether you won via email, so make sure you check that out. Again, appreciate our viewers. Now let's get back to the video. All right, this next play is something Danny Stutsman needs to work on, and there he is right there in the middle of your screen. And this is going to be kind of a weird design here for the Buccaneers. A lot of motion, a lot of window dressing. They're going to bring a man in motion here, then he's going to loop all the way back around this direction. But again, it's all window dressing because it's just going to be a standard inside zone concept working to the right side of the offense, the right side of your screen. What the Saints are going to do is they're going to slant number 90 this direction. They're going to slant the defensive end this direction. Stutsman's job in this situation, looking at the defensive structure, he's going to scrape over the top. He cannot get caught on this side right here as the Buccaneers, again, do their zone blocking here, center working up to the next level. Because you got guys slanting this direction, you got to make sure you don't get pinned inside. Because if you get pinned inside, there's a chance they crease this behind the slants here from the defensive lineman, and that's exactly what happens. This is something Stutsman needs to improve on. Let's check it out. There's the motion. Loops back around. There's the handoff. Good play from 93, limiting the damage. There's a motion. Looping back around. There's the snap. There's the handoff. Good job to limit the damage, 93. And who's that, 96 as well? Good work by these two guys. Again, you can see the slants, 90, 96. They do a great job making the play. But here's my issue with Stutsman. You see these guys slanting? You've got to scrape over the top. You see where he is right now? He's in a bad position, right? You've got linebackers to your left. If this is a cutback this direction, you're okay. You guys are slanting to that direction. You are the only linebacker basically in the box right now. You got safety play outside. You got linebacker play to your left. You got to make sure that he doesn't crease this right here vertically, right in the A or B gap. Fortunately for the Saints, their defensive linemen cause a lot of chaos and make the play. But you can see Stutsman right here. He gets pinned by the center. Right there. Not good. If these guys don't make the play, he's into the next level. Stutsman right here, he's very patient, and I love that about him. But sometimes he's a little hesitant. And at the very end, he knows it. Right here, you can see he's like, oh, crap. And I love the physicality. Boom, right there. He shocks the center, tries to work through. So again, his mindset is correct. His mentality and his physical nature is A+. It's outstanding. But this is something he needs to work on. Again, making sure, understanding the situation, understanding where he is on the field and what the offense is trying to do. They're trying to pin him in the middle of the field, and they get it done. I think he needs to improve and understand the situations in front of him and make sure he works over the top on this kind of play in the future.
One thing I think Stutsman can work on is working his way to be a more versatile player. As I alluded to, been primarily a run defender. He has dropped into coverage sparingly this year to not great success, I would say. Mediocre, nothing too good, nothing too bad. And pass rush, very limited. So I think he needs to be a more all-around defender to help give himself a strong spot on this team. Fantastic as a run defender, a good tackler. But if he could become more rounded in pass rush and coverage, I think we would see him as a growing star on this Saints roster.
All right, let's end on a play where Danny Stutsman is causing some chaos to the offense, and there's Stutsman right there, of course, on the left side of your screen. This is going to be a power concept. We're going to get a back block here, tackle working up to the backside linebacker, tight end working out. We're going to pull the backside guard to work around right there. We're going to send number 88 in motion, then back out and have him kick out number 90. Running back's going to take a counter step and then hit the hole right here. By the design, it's going to be a seal here, and basically a seal here, and the running back's just going to hit it just like this. Stutsman's actually going to come on a blitz here. He causes so much chaos. He bumps into a bunch of people, just disrupts the flow of everything on the inside. The offensive linemen get totally started. The running back, when he runs into the line of scrimmage, he gets startled, and it blows up the entire play. Again, Stutsman doesn't get credit for the tackle, but he causes the chaos that leads to this being a winning play for the Saints defense. Let's check it out. There's a motion. Back out. There's a snap. Guard pulls. Tight end goes. Nowhere really to go. Good defense. Let's look at Stutsman, though. Firing up the field. Beats the center. Runs into the guard. Again, he got two guys on him. Right? Look at the running back right here. See how the running back kind of freezes when he feels number 90 and Stutsman? It becomes a chaotic play. This is good team defense across the board. This is really good job getting penetration, causing chaos. Like, this is nice by Staley's core. Like, the Staley's doing a good job calling his defense over the past month or so, for sure. But Stutsman's doing a great job. Again, look at this athleticism. He's like a blur out there. Look at this. Beating the center cleanly inside, running into the guard. Again, two guys on him. Anytime any player on defense in a run situation has two offensive linemen on him, that's usually a win, and that's what Stutsman gets here. Right? Again, causing chaos, causing discomfort, making the offense, freeze for a second, allowing his teammates to rally to the football. Team defense. Again, selfless, not selfish football, right? He's not flying around with reckless abandon, just working up the field, maybe taking a chance at a play action, trying to get a sack. He's working through linemen. He's staying in his gap, taking on blocks. Good rep from Stutsman, and that's what we're seeing from him. Again, good job against the run. He can play off blocks. He saved what could have been some really big plays. There's some things to work on for sure. Obviously, we highlighted that one example in this film review, and he has pass rushing ability, and he's a playmaker, and his speed in space when he's blitzing is pretty impressive. But overall, Stutsman, you know what he is? He's just a good football player. And I think Saints fans, you're going to really grow to love this linebacker because over the years, I think he's going to get better and better and become a complete player. And I think he'll be a fan favorite before it's all said and done. He's that kind of player at linebacker.